PASS is basically peer-assisted study sessions. That's what the acronym stands for.
It's all about that title, the fact that it's peer helping peer.
It's a 1-hour weekly session that students are able to attend, and it's run by an experienced student who facilitates the group and helps them understand the concepts of the course.
PASS is not a remedial class, definitely not. It's for anyone of any abilities, whether you're like a high distinction student or just trying to literally pass the course. PASS is set up such that everyone can get something out of it.
What we do is we try and get students together and facilitate them to actually talk to one another and seek answers from one another, as opposed to relying on formal seminar leaders or tutors or lecturers, and actually getting them to consider other students as a source of knowledge.
It's not about just getting them to find the answers, but how do you find the answers? How do you learn to learn?
Because they're helping each other, they get more out of it in the long run because they're not afraid to ask each other questions.
If someone's struggling with something, we get the whole group to help them out. So it's a very inclusive group atmosphere, and the leader is just there to really help people and to guide them and direct them.
I'm also a student, and I make sure that everyone who comes to my session knows I'm just a student. You know, I've studied this subject before, but I'm not an ultimate source of knowledge.
The relationship between a student at university and their lecturer is a lot more formal than between a student and their high school teacher, which is why PASS is good, because it breaks down that barrier. Because I'm also a student, it's much easier for them to associate with me and to ask me questions that they may not be able to ask the lecturer. And I can take that sort of feedback and then give any feedback that the students may be hesitant to give to the lecturer. It can come from me instead, which takes that onus off the students who are currently doing the course. Today's
Session, the first thing I wanted to focus on was plant biology. I made a plant out of chocolates, and each flower had a chocolate in it and also had a question in it. They would ask for help from some of their peers, and once they arrived at the answer, they got to eat the chocolate.
I think it's incredibly powerful. Because it is informal in a PASS session, they're much more willing to talk. So I find it a very useful alternative means of learning that completely complements what it is we're trying to do in the formal classes.
I've personally watched students sitting there and just at the beginning of the class, you know, I just don't get it, I don't get it, and then you just watch the light bulb come on.
You see all these faces light up, and finally it's like, wow, I understand.
I believe this program does wonderful work. I think it's beneficial both for the students and for myself, and also for the academic staff. I feel like everyone benefits.
Me personally, I get a lot out of doing PASS. I wouldn't stop it for the world, really.
Students, I believe, work best when they're most comfortable. And in the PASS environment, it's very relaxed, it's very friendly, it's very easy for them to learn. And I believe that that's clearly seen in their final results. I think it's very worthwhile.